Morning, children. How are you all? Hope you all are good and safe at your home. So, have you started your studies or not? Have you started studying or not? As you all know, you all are having online exams in July. So, be prepared for that. Study hard. Okay. So, let's start our today's class. In the previous class, what we studied? We started our chapter number 6, that is changes around us. We will continue with that chapter only. So, let's quickly recap what we have studied in that chapter. In that class, what we studied, we'll quickly recap that. We studied about the types of changes. We studied about what is change. Change is anything, any difference, any noticeable difference in shape, size, color, or any internal state of a material. It is change. We studied that. We studied about two types of changes, that was reversible and irreversible change. What was reversible change? The change that can be reversed is known as a reversible change, means that can come to its original position or original path is known as a reversible change. That was what folding of paper is a reversible change. Okay. And what was irreversible change? Irreversible change was irreversible change, the change which cannot be reversed, that cannot be taken back to the original position, is known as a irreversible change. So what were the examples of irreversible change? Yes, for a cutting of paper, or cutting of paper is there, bursting of balloon is there, cooking of food is there, ripening of fruits are there. These changes cannot be reversed, so they are known as irreversible changes. So let's see. So let's start today's class. So today we will start with the difference between reversible and the irreversible change. First of all, we will see, here you can see the change that can be reversed. Reversible change, the change that can be reversed is known as a reversible change. The change which can be reversed is reversible change. And what's the and this one, irreversible, the change that cannot be reversed is known as irreversible change. Okay. And what in the reversible, they are not permanent change. Reversible changes are not permanent. Okay, they are not permanent means if you are folding a paper, it is not permanent. You can unfold it also, it is not permanent. So reversible changes are not permanent change. What about the irreversible? Irreversible changes are permanent, cannot be undone. Means if once they are done, means they are done, you cannot change that, they are permanent. Means if we are tearing a paper, you cannot stick it again. If you are sticking it using gum and glue, then also some problem is there. Okay, so they are not reversible. A fruit is ripened. Okay, a green mango changes to a which one? Orange, yellow one. Okay, so can you change that green orange, this ripe mango, or this yellow mango to green mango again? No, we cannot change. So these changes are irreversible, we cannot undo them, we cannot undo them. Now here, third point is reversible change might change how a material feel, or but it does not create a new material. Means in the case of reversible changes, no new materials are formed. In these cases, no new materials are formed, it just can change the form. Means if you are taking a paper, it's paper. Okay, you are taking a paper and you are folding it, you are folding and making an aeroplane or something, boat or whatever you want to, flower, anything like that. You are just folding it and creating a flower out of that, but it is paper only, it is paper only. Okay, but in the irreversible change, something new will form. Like if I'm taking a paper and burning it, what will form? Ash will form. Yes or no? Ash is a different thing, paper is different thing, and ash is different thing. So in this case, new substance, usually new substance form, not always, because when we tear up paper, it's paper also again. Okay, when we are tearing the paper, change is there, but again what we are getting, we are getting paper. But when we burn a paper, what we get ash. So in irreversible change, we usually, sometimes we get a new product, but not always. But in the case of reversible change, we never get a new product. No new product are formed in the case of reversible change. And in the case of irreversible change, sometimes, usually, we get a new product. Okay, is it clear? And we all know the differences, examples of these changes. Reversible changes, examples of reversible changes are what? Blowing of balloon is there, folding of paper is there. Okay, and in the irreversible change, ripening of fruits is there, and what? Tearing of paper, burning of paper, all these are examples of irreversible change. Okay, let's quickly recap that. Reversible and irreversible change. Reversible change is what? Reversible change can be reversed. Irreversible change cannot be reversed. They are permanent. Reversible change are permanent. Irreversible change are not permanent. They are, sorry, they are, they cannot be reversed. They are permanent. Wait. Reversible change might change how a material looks, feel, but it does not create new material. Means in the case of reversible changes, no new product will form. In the case of reversible change, no new product will form. But in the case of reversible change, it is it is possibility that a new substance will form. So usually a new product is formed in the case of irreversible change, and the examples you all know. Okay, you can write this in your rough notebook. If you want, you can note down this. Now here we can see this cartwheel with metal rim fixed to it. Now you all must be thinking how we fit this metal rim into this wooden cartwheel. Can you tell me how we do this? You will say that, ma'am, we just take this and fit that inside it. No, it is not easy as you are thinking. Because what happens, this rim, as you can see, this metallic rim is slightly smaller than this wooden block. So how we fit this? We usually fit this using the heating effect of material. Heating effect of, as you can see these tools here on the screen, so these tools are preheated before fitting them into these handles. As you can see, these wooden handles are here. So before fitting in these wooden handles, these tools are made up of metal. So these are preheated and then they are fitted inside these. Why so? Why they are heated? So we will get this answer. Now why they are heated? Because on heating some material expand. Material expand on heating. When we heat some material, they expand. They expand. When heat enters them, they expand or bigger in size. They become bigger in size. And materials contract on cooling. When materials are cooled, they contract or they shrink. They shrink in size when they are cooled. Extent of expansion or contraction is the most in gases and least in solid. Means contraction and expansion is most in gases. We can see this contraction maximum in the case of gases and least in the case of solids. Okay, and in intermediate it is there solid, liquid and gas. So first one is gases. In gases we can see maximum amount of contraction or expansion, then in liquids, and then comes the gases. Okay, so okay, you all must have seen when we take some bottle up from the freezer, it is very tight. Okay, when we keep some bottle in refrigerator or in the fridge, so we take that out, and if it is filled with ice, it is very tough to open it. We usually find this type of difficulty. It is very tough to open it. So what we do, what we will take some water and put that on the cap of the bottle. Okay, put that water in the cap of the bottle. What will happen, you will see that after some time we can easily open that, cap. Why it is so? Because the water that we put in the cap was at normal room temperature, and that heats the ice water, and what will happen, that will expand, the cap will expand and it can be easily opened. So we can see that on heating or on putting heat, some materials will expand. Materials expand on heating and contract on cooling. Okay, now we'll take some here application of contraction and expansion. Where we use this contraction and expansion, we will study here. Now expansion and contraction in the case of solids we will study, means how expansion and contraction work in solids, where we see this expansion and contraction in the case of solids. Now expansion and contraction in, where it is, okay, now we were talking about solids. So as we have seen earlier also, in solids we can see here these are all solids, and when we heat these, as we can see these metal leads, as we heat these metals, what happens, these expand their size, these holes, small holes, as you can see here, these small holes expand in size, these small holes expand in size, and then these wooden blocks, as you can see, these wooden blocks can easily go inside that, like this. If this is a metal one, it will easily go, and after that we put cold water in that, and it will tightly hold it like this. We just fit these metals into these tools in this handle. Okay, like okay, now we are talking about the cartwheel also. This cartwheel, how this cartwheel is fitted in the rim, this cartwheel can be fitted in the rim in the same way as we fit the tools. How we do that, we just heat the cartwheel outside, means this rim, we just heat the rim, of the cartwheel for smooth movement. The metal rim is made slightly smaller than the diameter of this wheel, means this metal rim is slightly smaller than this wheel. On heating, the metal rim expand. On heating, this metal will expand. Okay, then it is slipped on the wheel, then it is easily slipped on the wheel, and cold water is poured on it. Then we poured the cold water on it, then what will happen, this rim will contract, then contract and can easily fit inside this wooden wheel. So like this way we can easily fit the wooden wheel inside this metal rim, inside the wooden wheel. Now expansion and contraction in the case of liquid, how these liquids contract and expand. Now this can be, most common example of expansion and contraction is in the thermometer. Okay, when we get fever, what we do, we just check the fever, we go to the doctor, and the doctor check the fever with using a clinical thermometer. He takes the thermometer and put that inside our mouth or under our armpit, and then that thermometer absorbs our heat, and what happens, you must have seen that this level increases, through this level increases and keeps on increasing, and it records your fever, the amount of fever or the amount of heat inside your body. So what is this, what that is rising, that is mercury. So what is there inside the thermometer, mercury is there inside the thermometer. What is there? Mercury, Mercury. So mercury is there inside the thermometer that expands when it measure the body heat. Okay, so and when we take out it from the mouth and when we dip that in water, glass of water, what will happen? It just cools down and it shrinks or it contracts and come to its original position again. When it is absorbing the heat, it will expand, and expand means it will increase its size. And when it is cooled down or when it is put in water, cold water, what will happen? It will shrink and temperature will go down. So this is the case of contraction and expansion in liquid, because mercury is a liquid which is inside the thermometer. So it expands when its temperature is increased, and it contracts when the temperature is cooled down. Okay, now you all love cycling, yes or no? You all love cycling. Okay, this must have been this, all of you must have faced this thing. What is this? A punctured cycle, yes or no? How this happens? Okay, sometime what happens, we put our cycle in the open or under the sun, and the sun heat just burst this cycle tire. This happens or not? Yes, this thing happens many times. Okay, why it is so? Because what happens when we put our cycle in the open area, what will happen? The sun rays will heat the cycle tire, and we studied that on heating, what happens? On heating, substances expand. So when this tire will take extra amount of heat from the sun, so much amount of heat from the sun, this tire will expand, and one stage will come that it will finally burst. Okay, so why it is so? Because on heating, substances expand, and on cooling they will shrink or they will contract. So this is in the case of what? In the case of gases. Gases also expand on heating, means the gas inside this tube, cycle tire is there, so inside this cycle tire, what is there? Air is there. So this air will expand when it will expose to the direct sunlight or sunlight. Okay, so it will expand, and a stage will come where this will finally burst. So this was what? This was the expansion and contraction in the case of gases. So this is all. So what we studied today? We studied about application of expansion and contraction in the case of solid, liquid and all the gases. Also we studied about reversible and irreversible changes and their differences. So this is all. Now what you have to do, you have to revise all the things very carefully and watch the video again and again if you are not getting the things. Okay, till then, stay home, stay safe, don't go outside. Okay, and be safe, be happy. Sai Ram.